Hey everybody, welcome back to another iiRcade Game Days. I'm your host, Michael, executive producer here at iiRcade. I wasn't even supposed to be here, so it's very impromptu today. However, of course, I am showing my fangs today, of course, in the spirit of Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody, too. If you're celebrating, hope you are. Having a good weekend, too. It's kicking off. It's Friday. I hope you're already off work. If not, hopefully soon, right? So there you go. Not a lot planned today, of course. I was supposed to be traveling originally today, so I'm not traveling today now, which is good. So I get to be here, but no time to pre-record a session or anything like that too. So I figured we'll do a live one real quick. We'll do some Q&A. Nothing crazy planned. I wasn't even supposed to be here today, so here we are, right? So sometimes that's what happens. Let's see. It's kicking off in the chat here. Everybody just saying, hey, okay. We can go over games and everything else too, of course. Bring up my good old banners here, right? So last week we had action games on sale. This week, of course, now we have week 2 is arcade games, right? So any sort of arcade style games that we're working on, of course, pretty much every game is an arcade style game, right? So these kind of games are going to fall into basically no category but their own, right? So that's the games that we put into the arcade category for you. So a few here that you can see. However, all games, pretty much all games, except for, oh my gosh, Once Upon a Time on Halloween, I believe is the only one that's not on sale today for the arcade section or genre of games, just because it just came out last week. Beyond that, too, the Load Runner games also in the action platformer, which I still consider part of the arcade games, are also on sale included in this week. So if you are looking at Load Runner games, all 4 plus, Load Runner Legacy itself, too, are included in that. So every single game that is on sale right now is 30% off on the dot. So, right? So we said up to 30%. However, most are just 30%, which is great, right? So hitting the maximum there that we can do. All right. What kind of games are people picking up? Let's see here. Throw them in the chat. What's everybody playing right now, too? What's everybody picking up for the sale? I know I saw a bunch on Facebook a little bit earlier today. Dracula in the house. Yeah, that's right. Not quite Dracula. Not yet. I wish I was that old. I have a lot of ancient wisdom to drop on you all, too. Let's see here. Oh, we got questions already here. Yeah, we'll do Q&A first. That's fine, too. Again, nothing planned on today, too. No special things going on because I was not even supposed to be here, so I was not planning on anything. Let's see here. Let me see. If you update the online store again, can you add an indicator to show what games have already purchased, the grade on a box, things like that? Yeah, so we've been over this before, too. This is a feature that we're intending to add for a while now, honestly. Software takes a little bit longer than you think, right? Things that seem simple are never simple, sadly, on the software side of things. But yeah, this is definitely something that we are intending to do to the store and have been for a while now, too, to make it a lot easier on you, too. Of course, you can never purchase a game twice over. It doesn't work that way. It'll show up as purchased the moment you go in and select the game. But yeah, I know that it'd be much easier if you don't have to even click on the game. You just know when you're browsing through that, hey, I own this game already, too. But it's funny when you don't know that you own a game, right? Because have you played it yet? It's always my question, right? Have you played the game? You bought it, but have you played it? But yeah, no, that's something that we do intend to add to the store is like a grayed out version of it or some sort of indicator that's very apparent that you own this game, right? Or, maybe they just don't even show up if you own them. I'm not sure. We'll see how we handle that in the future going forward. But yeah, that's an update coming to the store. When? Who knows right now, right? So, of course, we are intending the UI update with the store, both on the launcher and the store itself, too, as well as the website, right? So those are things that are currently being worked on in tandem together. Is this something that might pop into the store earlier? Probably, honestly, but when that could be, not sure on that one. So no ETA, but maybe in the upcoming month or so. Not for the UI and things like that, too, but just for an indicator for that you bought a game in the store. You see here. Yeah, there's a lot of must-buys on the store right now. Yeah. DD, Galacticon, Longhead, of course. Yep, games that just came out. We'll go over my favorites again, just like we did last week, too. I do have a top 10 for my arcade category as well, just like I did with the action last week. We'll do that in a second here. Let me see here. Other questions on these games. What games are number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 8 on the banner? Well, let me pull up the banner real quick, and I can tell you. Let's see. We've got, so number 3 on this list would be Gun Barrack. So if you've played Gun Bird before, of course, it comes with every system, right, for iiRcade. Gun Barrack, sort of a spin-off of that game. It's not pinball quite. It's more towards a, oh my gosh, what is the word that I'm looking for here? Somebody back me up. where you bounce the ball like a brick breaker. Oh my gosh, there's a word that I'm looking for here. Arkanoid style kind of game. However, with sort of weird pinball mechanics, you do have flippers on your character. Number 4 would be Lode Runner Legacy, specifically Lode Runner Legacy. That's the newer one that came out. Number 5 is Space Harrier. It's part of Space Harrier. And then number 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all the way on the right side. That's actually Jet Pin. So a pinball kind of game on the system. There you go. We'll take that down. All of which, by the way, I would recommend. I like all of those games. They are all very different styles of games as well, too, which is great. Okay. What other questions do I have here? Yeah, Arkanoid. Yeah, now I see it in the chat. There it goes. I'm delayed compared to you guys, right, for the chat. So I'm also looking at different feeds at the same time. We've talked about the puzzle category before. Yes, of course I want to beef up the puzzle category. Of course, we're always looking up to beef up every single category, honestly, right? But yeah, puzzle a little sparse. But sadly, puzzle games are few and far between for arcades. They exist on other things that maybe we can bring over. They're just harder to find on arcades. But yeah, no, those are things that I am a personal puzzle lover as far as puzzle games go as well, too. I like a good logic challenge and things like that, too. Or just that style of game, too, right? Like Teki Paki is a really good one if you've never done Teki Paki on the system right now, too. But yeah, lots of different style puzzle games and stuff, too. Things that we can't announce yet that will be coming to the system, of course. But yeah, I like puzzle games a lot. And, of course, we're always looking for them. Let's see here. Here's a question on a game. There we go. What is Bang Bang Busters about? Is it good? Yeah, so if you played like Snow Bros, sort of a similar style game to Bang Bang Busters, Fancy World that comes with the system, they're that sort of like, it's not a platform game, but it is a platformer game too, where you're on a stationary amount of platforms, right? So for Bang Bang Busters, you basically blow up enemies, right? Like you literally pick up enemies, you can inflate them, and then you can throw them around. So that's Bang Bang Busters. It's very quirky, very fun sort of game too. So if you're into that style of like sort of arcade style sort of platforming on one single space screen, if that makes sense, that's what Bang Bang Busters is. I enjoy it. Personal preference on that one too. Let's see here. 2 feeds at the same time. It's actually 4 feeds, technically speaking, that I watch at the same time right now going through that you guys don't see on the back end here. Let's see. Can't answer questions about games that aren't out yet. I can say that we do have more game announcements coming at you very, very soon. Not today. Games that you've never, well, that we've never announced before. Games you've probably heard of, but that we've never announced before, right? So there you go. You're enunciating. Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, these are real. These are actually my real teeth. I just don't show them normally. So just so you know, yeah, I am a vampire. Most people don't like to show it. I do a little bit, right? I like to sport it, you know. I'm not out in the sun a lot. People know that. Clearly, I'm very pasty. That's kind of why. I keep long hours of the night, you know. Some people catch on, some people don't. It's just how it goes sometimes. Other questions about games that I can answer right now on the system. And more gold editions going on sale. $7.99 again. I make no promises on sales for anything. I'm not going to tell you when my sales are coming up. You'll just have to catch them. We do always put sales on like all of our social media feeds here on Gamedaze as well too. On Tuesday shows, if we ever do normal lives on Tuesdays as well again. But as well as the newsletter and the website, right? So if you are subscribed to the newsletter on the website, if you're not, highly suggested. It pops up right when you get on the website after like, I don't know, 15, 30 seconds, something like that too. It'll pop up, sign up for that too. We don't spam or anything. We usually send one out about every 2 weeks for the newsletter, but the newsletter is definitely always up to date with upcoming sales and current sales, right? So that's an easy way to stay informed. As well as, of course, Facebook group. We post on all of our socials and stuff all the time too. But yeah, if there's a sale coming up, we'll let you know when it happens. Am I going to give it ahead of time? Absolutely not. Let's see here. Other questions on games, especially the arcade games that are on sale today, right? I posted on Facebook earlier asking, yeah, if you got questions about those games, if you're on the fence about any game too that you need some explaining about, like Bang Bang Busters, we can go into deep detail on them too. I have fully played every single game on our system, which is insane that I've actually played all these games, come to think of it. Let's see here. Okay, if not, oh, is that an iiRcade screensaver on your machine? So since I'm the one who has to, manufacture the attract modes, yeah, I can make the attract modes look like whatever I want them to be like on any specific machine that I want them to too. So if I want to push an attract mode or install it on a specific machine, I can do that, and I have done that. So just because I wanted some background ambience today too. It's my Halloween Yule log is what this attract mode really is for me today too. However, you do actually have this attract mode in a sense today. It only lasts for about 30 seconds on yours before it cycles back through the games, but it is part of it. Yeah. And if you didn't know, this is actually the Android game install screen for us now too that we've made on the system too. So anytime that you install those sort of more modern based games on the system, they do have, it's actually the same effect here. So just with the loading ring and everything else too that we've added to it, of course. There you go. Brooklyn's played it. Bang Bang Busters is a really good game. So there you go, Test 99. Any more gold cabs going to be available soon? They're sold out on the website. Yeah, they're still sold out on the website. We talked about this last week actually as well, and I think we put in a newsletter. But yeah, I talked about this last week a little bit. Yeah, no, there's no announcements on golds when they're coming. The next shipment, we do have shipment coming in, but I'm making no promises right now as to when it will get here too. It is intended to be here before the holidays. However, it's not here yet. It's not in my warehouse. Until it's in the warehouse, I'm not going to promise you that it's going to be here for the holidays. So I don't want you to be banking on that. And then all of a sudden it's not here for the holidays. And then the entire thing is ruined, right? I don't want that, right? So yes, we do have more golds coming. When they are coming, there is they're already on the way too. However, I don't know when they're going to be here, right? So stay tuned on that too, but we will announce that. And of course, again, like I just said, the newsletter, social media feeds and everything, we will post that as well too in our newsletter and everything as well as mentioned here, all over the place too. So, yep, just stay tuned. But yeah, I'm not going to make promises that it's going to be here. It should be here before the holidays, but I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to make that promise yet. With the way the shipping lanes are right now too, everybody's trying to get their stuff here for the holidays right now, including us. So it's been on its way for a bit now. Let's see here. Other things we can go over right now too. Other questions that I see. Games I can't talk about, of course. Santa Throw's addicting. True. But I'm not jumping the gun on holiday season yet until Halloween's over. So I will not be the Mariah Carey Christmas song of the show. Can't read that comment, but I wish I could. See, all right. Okay, cool. Let's actually jump into my only real topic because, again, this is very impromptu besides Q&A today. So I was not planning on being in the States, actually, at this point. Yeah, but I'll be leaving soon. Don't you worry. So let's get to, let me see here. I do have a fun little, I did throw together an image. I'm so sorry that I don't have too much more than this, but it's not quite the same as last week when I had a little bit more time. But yes, so arcade games are on sale today, right? So with that, the arcade category, I want to show off my personal top 10 arcade games in the category. You might differ wildly from this. I have a very different play style than a lot of people, and I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, especially with arcade style games. I'm a big button masher, so fighters are sort of my style, but not really. However, when it comes to shooters, it's great for me, right? But just in the arcade category of things too, I'm very much a leaderboard chaser, a high score chaser, and a glutton for punishment, right? So a lot of these games you might not like personally, but I do, right? So here they are. Without further ado, these are my top 10. I'm just going to show them all at once and we'll go over them, right? So here they are. Sweet. So my number 10 is actually New Zealand Story of all things, right? Kind of a platformer as well too on its own too. I like New Zealand Story. It's very quirky. A lot of people over here might not know New Zealand Story. However, people in Australia, New Zealand area especially will definitely know this game, right? It is a Taito game. It released in Japan originally as well. New Zealand Story, you play as a kiwi, right? So a little bird, a little kiwi too. Tons of different gameplay mechanics in this game, so I like it a lot. You get to ride like hot air balloons and stuff too. It's just so weird, and I like it because of that. So that's kind of the style of New Zealand Story. If you're looking for sort of a platform-esque kind of game, that's New Zealand Story. Gun Barrack, we already talked about a little bit, right? So Gun Barrack's my number 9 on the list, right? Gun Barrack. Let's see here. Yeah, Gun Barrack is, sorry, getting through my chat and stuff. Gun Barrack is a Arcanaut style game too, kind of brick breaker. Yeah, it's got a lot of quirky characters, a lot of different mechanic stuff too. The fun thing is it has these pinball flippers as well too. So you can bounce the ball in different sort of directions and things too. So it does make the gameplay a little bit more challenging, a little bit more different, right? So I like Gunbarrack a lot. Jet Pins coming in hot at number 8. Jet Pin Arcade is our sort of pinball game on the system, right? You can actually play this game, by the way, on our system. If I like doing it sort of pinball style as close as we can get because there's no bumpers on the sides, right? Or there's no buttons on the sides. So I use player 1A as well as player 2C is actually, so I kind of separate my hands as far as they can go to do left and right flippers on the system. You can do that if you want to, or you can use A and B. It does have a shake mechanic as well too in case the ball ever gets stuck. If you ever played Sonic Spinball on Sega Genesis, that's what I kind of compare this style of game to. I call it a spinball game for that reason because it's not pinball. You continue on throughout the level and keep climbing higher and higher to ascend to higher and higher scores too, right? Does have global leaderboards and everything. So Jet Pin Arcade, number 8 for me. Alligator Hunt's my number 7, mostly just because it's quirky gameplay. I like it a lot. The gameplay is good. The soundtrack is banging. It's got these crazy guitar riffs going on nonstop, and you're just a kid on a skateboard going outer space and stuff. It makes no sense, and I love it because of that. Chameleon is, again, a very challenging, punishing game. If you never played Chameleon, old school arcade game from the 80s. Chameleon is you go around, you collect the eggs and things like that too, and then eventually, get on to the next level and stuff like that too. You use your tongue to climb and things like that too. So Chameleon's a very classic style arcade game, but it's got its own quirks and mechanics still, which I like a lot. Space Ace coming in hot at number 5 for me. I just like Space Ace better than Dragon's Lair 2. Don't hate me. That's just how I am. I like space. I like science. I'm a huge science nerd. That's probably why. So I'm a big sci-fi geek as well as RPG tropes too. So you think because I do like the high fantasy stuff, Dragon's Lair 2 would come in higher, but no, Space Ace I actually rank higher. I just like Space Ace, Dexter, Kimmy, it's great. Galacticon's actually coming in close at number 4. My number 3 and number 4 almost swapped back and forth maybe 20 times when I was doing this little infographic, right? So Galacticon's coming in at number 4 for me, mostly because of high scores and leaderboard chasing. That's why. Space Harrier is coming in at my number 3, however. So Space Harrier right here. There we go. Space Harrier is my number 3 on the system for arcade category. Again, quirky mechanics. I love it. Welcome to the fantasy zone. I can show it off a little bit here. Let's see here. My top 3 I do have videos for. Here we go. So in case you've never seen Space Harrier, a little bit of gameplay for you. The Space Harrier is always, it starts a level of welcome to the fantasy zone. It makes no logical sense. Don't try to make logic out of it. It's great. It's just a video game for the sake of video games, and that's exactly why I love this game. Originally, it was tuned with a flight stick that returned to the center of the screen too. So Sega actually, part of our agreement with them was to actually, you'll see the character always return to the screen. So if you let go of the joystick, it returns to the center of the screen too. So we had to get used to that a little bit too. So that is actually an intended thing. That's not a bug. That's actually a feature in the game, is to return to the center of the screen too. This is a game that we have shown off with trackball as well too. So when we do accessories and trackball, this is a game that should right out the gate whenever this stuff is available, come to the system with trackball as well as joystick, right? So a little bit of a different experience for you with trackball. However you could, put a real flight stick on here too if you really wanted to. It would probably work, right? Beyond that, so that's my number 3, Space Harrier, right? My number 2, coming in hot, is Donut, of course, releasing this year too, earlier on. It's just a good game. It's just a good arcade-style game, right? My arcade-style platform. It's got ladders. It's got platforms. It's got stupid mechanics, too. I love it so much. Donuts, dodos. You got a baker. You got a toilet running around, too. His name's Stinky. You got the mouse running around, too. You've got ghosts. You got just collecting donuts, too. If you never played Donut Dodo before, highly suggest it, especially while it's on sale. But even when it's full price, honestly, well worth it. It's one of my favorite games, especially if you're a leaderboard chaser like I am, a score chaser. This is the game. 3 different difficulty modes that you have to ascend through naturally, as well as the Sugar Rush mode, which changes daily, which is awesome. What more can I say about Donut Dodo, right? So those of you who don't know how to get high scores in this game, by the way, too, so the tricky part is if you see the flashing donut on the screen there, too, there's only ever one flashing donut at a time, too. How it does, it's a score multiplier, right? So the first one is worth a natural 125, I believe is how it is, too. And so if you pick up one flashing donut, the next flashing donut is going to be worth 2 times the amount, and then another one is going to be 3 times the amount, 4 times the amount, until you either goof up or die, basically, too. So if you do collect all, 10-ish donuts in each individual level, you get a 10 times score multiplier. That's how you get the higher score, too. There is fruit that spawns around the levels, too, worth different amounts of points. So, yeah, that's how you do it. Coming in at my number one, of course. I mean, if you've seen the show before, you've heard me talk about this game so many times. Sega's Congo Bongo is my favorite game for probably the entire system, weirdly enough, too. However, it is definitely my favorite game in the arcade genre of games on the store, right? So what more can I say about Congo Bongo? It's 4 stages of absolute punishment. Usually it's a 4-way diagonal game as well, too, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. You do go up, down, left, right as well, too, is how this game is programmed. So kind of takes a little bit of getting used to. However, there's some high scores on that system, too, so it works just fine, even if you're not playing with the diagonal. However, maybe later on we'll do, somebody have an accessory for a diagonal-based control system, right? And that'll work on here. Who knows, right? So maybe we'll be able to play it more naturally for the arcade experience. However, it works just fine. Trust me on that one, too. Congo Bongo, again, if you're a glutton for punishment, you like leaderboard chasing, this is it. This is the pinnacle. This is the piece de resistance to me. I love Congo Bongo. Simplistic in nature, super high mastery, right? So I love it a lot. There you go. So that's my top 10. I'll show them off one more time. My top 10 personal favorites for the arcade category genre on the store, available right now too. And all of these games are on sale right now for 30% off, right? Your list, again, probably differs a lot from mine. There you go. Yes, that toilet is it's rough. It's real rough. All right. Yeah, Congo Bongo is good. Super difficult. Super difficult. Again, you gotta like some punishment in your arcade games for Congo Bongo to be fun for you, right? Have I completed Congo Bongo? There is no completion in Congo Bongo. It just keeps getting harder and harder until you die. Once you complete all 4 stages, it cycles back through to stage 1 with more enemies. And then that keeps happening over and over again, right? Until you die. That's how Congo Bongo goes. It is endless, just like Space Invaders. What else we got here? Did you see that? Yeah. So you can climb the leaderboard. I will be coming for those scores again very soon. I keep saying it for Congo Bongo. I'm going to get back on those leaderboards. I think I'm still in like 4th or 5th. I think I'm doing okay. But that's from a while ago. I saw some like 100,000 plus scores. I got some work to do still. What else we got? Any questions on those games? Those are some of my favorite games on the system too, so I can tell you so much about them because I've played them at home, at work, everywhere. I've had to test them. Let's see here. Yeah, Congo Bongo is actually a harder game to find too. A lot of systems don't have Congo Bongo. It's one of our Sega titles. Normally $10. Right now it is $7 on the store, right? So 30% off. All right. Any other questions on these games? Not. That's pretty much all I got for you today on the show. Again, impromptu. Didn't think I was going to be here. Wasn't planning on anything too. Any other questions I can get to right now too? If you got questions, put them in the chat. Let me see them. Put some asterisks. Put some question marks on them too. If it's about a game that is not enough for the system, I can't talk about it. So there you go. Space Invaders leaderboards. Soon, TM. Yeah, I mean, again, Space Invaders was never promised with leaderboards. I said that I would try to get it in. We don't know. I'm still trying to, but it is sort of on the back burner for now. I would like to definitely have it with leaderboards, so yes. There's a game, of course, that I want global leaderboards for, right? It's a little bit trickier for that game for a couple different reasons. But ready to go. I have not abandoned leaderboards on that game yet. So yes, it is still a project. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I can't give any hard dates or anything on that too. If it will ever happen, I don't know. Unfortunately. However, yes, I'm working. Heated Barrel release date. Yeah, so we announced all the release dates for the TAD Corporation games. If you missed it, the 2 left would be Cabal, which is coming next Friday on the 4th, November 4th. So 9 a.m. my time. It'll probably release around then on the store. So next Friday for Cabal. And the following Friday, November 11th, whatever the following Friday is. I think it's the 11th. That's going to be Heated Barrel. Yep. We also have Heavy Barrel, just so you know. Not to be confused. Let me see here. What is a game that should have been in your top 10 and why is it Sub-Octo? Sub-Octo is good. Sub-Octo, I highly compare to Jalico City Connection, by the way, too, if you never tried that game. Very similar as far as game mechanics go. You play as a car instead of a octopus diver. But yeah, same sort of essential mechanics to that game too. Sabacta is a much newer, more modern version of that game, however, right? So different mechanics. It is a little bit more crisp and clean. But yes, City Connection is also another one that's available right now on sale. So if you're interested, if you like Sabacta, Jalico City Connection would be that game. There was actually a lot of games that I kind of played with in my top 10 today too. But again, like I said, my style of play is a lot different than most people's. I am very much a leaderboard chaser and a glutton for punishment. So I will sit there for hours at a time and just bang my head against the wall if I need to get onto a leaderboard. Yeah. Let's see here. Heated Barrel is the 14th, I think. I can tell you right now. I thought it was the 11th. Yeah, it's the 11th. Yes, Heated Barrel is on the 11th. Yes, so not this coming Friday. That's Cabal on the 4th. The 11th is Heated Barrel. Get out of here, Liv. What are you doing in my chats? What am I up as for Halloween? Nothing, because I'm traveling for Halloween, so I'm gone out of the country. This is as most as you get, right? However, this isn't a costume. We've been over this already too. I am actually a vampire. So, or could have been a werewolf, right? We'll see. Maybe I'll just slap on some nice sideburns, grow the mustache back, and just be like Teen Wolf or something, right? Can I pull off Teen Wolf? Do I look too old at this point? Even just normal werewolf now. Let's see here. Not going to talk about sales on machines. Again, I won't announce that. However, bringing this question up here, a little jazzy. I'm tempted to buy the black edition from the warehouse sale, but will there be a sale on gold editions this year? I'm not going to promise anything on gold editions right now. Again, we do have more gold editions coming, yes. When they will be here, is it this year? I don't know. They are on the way. I won't make any promises, however, because shipping for the holidays is crazy, right? So I have no idea if they're going to make it here next month, if they're going to make it here December, or if they're not going to be here until January, February. Yeah, that's how it goes. We're not a shipping company. We don't control those lanes. It's just how it goes. It sucks. I know. Will there be a sale on that? That again, I won't tell you. But if you are holding out for a black gold edition, yes, a black edition for the gold. There are more on the way. Yes, get them while they're hot. We will let you guys know. But yeah, so if you are looking to hold out for that, yeah, they're coming. Or yes, we do have some machines. If you missed it, we do have our, I don't know what to call it anymore too. Our harvest lost and found sales, kind of what we're calling it now at this point. Our warehouse did do an inventory check, a physical inventory check, and they found a few boxes of stuff too. So we have very, very limited quantities of this stuff. But what you see on the website right now too is in stock, right? So I think there's maybe one more of the beach buggy left. Some OGAs, some standard classic editions, the classic iiRcade units. I think those are $399 right now. Sounds about right for the 64 gigabyte models. So you can pick those up. Those are probably our lowest end models right now. However, they all do the same thing right now currently, of course, for the standard edition units. I believe there might be a black edition or two, a couple of those. There's definitely Retromania and Dragon's Lair. Those are in stock 100%. And then I think that's about it, honestly, is what it was. I like to call that our overstocked inventory found sale, right? So yeah, what you see on the website is what you get right now. Let's see here. Other questions here. Just going to leave on. Will Zhongpong have leaderboards? Zhongpong just got pushed back more. There you go. I'm gonna make more games I'm gonna release games on the system before Zhongpong comes out at this point. Just saying. Any update on Jukebox? Yule log plugin. No updates on Jukebox to talk about right now too. It's something that, of course, it's still technically speaking a beta feature, right? It's never really truly come out of beta on its own. Just kind of hovers there. Infinite beta. There's other things we want to do with Jukebox that will probably be coming at some point. However, it's low priority right now too. Jukebox, as far as it goes, is working. You can connect your phone or a tablet or a PC, whatever you want, whatever Bluetooth connected device that plays audio, right? And you can utilize the speakers for that. That's the intention of Jukebox to begin with. So for now, good enough. But yeah, it's something that will be looked at in the future. And we've planned that before. Yeah. It's just, it gets kind of pushed down. It's not a high priority currently on our system, right? A Yule log plugin. I don't know. Stay tuned. Will I bring back the Yule log this year? Who knows? Who knows, right? It did. The Yule log for holiday time started out as a meme of an attract mode last year, and then everybody for some reason loved it. So I brought it back for a couple weeks, right? So we'll see. See if it comes back this year. Anyone going to challenge my score on Blood Bros? When I get to playing Blood Bros, Nix, yes, I will be there on these boards, probably higher than you. Just saying. Just wait. Wait until I have time. Wait until I have time. Maybe over my own holiday break, I'll play the machine even more, right? Let's see here. Interesting question. Mark is asking, is there ever going to be a rotatable controller for games like Heavy Barrel? Yeah, so you're talking about a rotary stick, right? So maybe. It'll be up to companies like Glenn's Retro Show, GRS products, to make those kind of products for our system, right? We don't intend to do that ourselves. However, third-party software or third-party hardware, I should say, right? If it works with the game too, we'd love to have that kind of stuff too, because a game like that, especially, right, like Heavy Barrel as well as Midnight Resistance, right, is more of a spinner or rotary stick kind of game, right? So we'd love for you to be able to play those games on our system in sort of their more intended nature, just like the arcade itself, right? So the closer we can get, the better. It's tricky, right? It's a tricky area when you talk about controls when we are like a multi-cade or a console, right? So it's tricky for us because we don't intend to ever release like a specific form factor of machine, if that makes sense, right? At least not that we've announced or anything like that. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I would love to have that. And I know that there are some people working on it currently. And if we can make it work on our system, yeah, that's the intention. Yep. That's what's fun about the open accessories program, is that we can bring that kind of stuff as long as people want to bring it to our system. Yeah, absolutely. It's a trickier one though, right? Because it's not a highly sought after thing. Well, it's highly sought after, but I shouldn't say there's not too many games that would use it, right? But yeah, no, I'd love to have a rotary stick, as well as a couple other kind of controls that haven't been announced yet. Oh, my favorite Halloween candy, MCAP is asking. You know what? It's going to be a trade-off between Crunch Bars and Reese's. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. I might say Reese's comes out on top more because they have them more often, I would say, during Halloween, because they're more prevalent for some reason. So maybe Crunch Bars, actually. Crunch Bars. Well, Crunch Bars. It's my favorite Halloween candy. Though I'm also a big hard candy person. Like, we have Jolly Ranchers in the office right now, too, that I've been like going after every single day. It's bad. Let's see here. Other questions I can answer, too. That's a good question, though. Okay, if one more person asks me about gold edition sales, I will just start banhammering people, I swear to you. Let's see here. Oh, look, somebody actually saying hi to me. Hey, Mark. There we go. Other Mark. Here we go. Lots of Marks, right? Teen Wolf for Thanksgiving costume. I don't know, maybe. Let's see here. What other questions can I go back to? You see here. Sorry, I'm looking through questions in the chat too. It's a very boring when I host the show sometimes, right? Truly, I'm not a streamer. I'm really not. It's never an intended position for me. We just have some fun here, right? Ooh. Are there any more iiRcade Leatherman jackets available? Yeah, they should still be available on the store. If you go to the apparel section, iiRcade.com, and then go to apparel, if they should be there still. I don't think they was ever removed, but I can double check on that. Forget the price on them. They were a little bit more expensive because they are a real Letterman jacket, right? So they are a little bit more expensive. I feel like they were like $70. Sounds about right though. But yeah, apparel on the iiRcade store. iiRcade.com, sorry. Let's see here. Rob, this is a great comment. We also need more new arcade-style games, the quality of Donut, Dodo, and Galacticon. Yeah, it's up to developers to make them, right? So Again, we put the games on our console. We don't make the games, even though we do supporting ourselves, right? But yes, currently we don't have any games released that are just our own. I can tell you that we do have other games upcoming already planned that aren't announced that are sort of in the same vein as those, right? More modern retro style games that are intended as an arcade experience versus just being made for like PC console kind of stuff. Yeah. Panic Road is more fun than it looks. Yeah. If you like Panic Road, I'm telling you, Jet Pin Arcade is the way to go. Let's see here. MCAP again asking, how are the GRS/Cinnamon accessory testing going? It's going good. So testing is fine, right? So GRS is testing right now too, as well as Cinnamon. Unfortunately, we can't disclose any sort of date yet. We are still very much intending to have them out before the end of the year. Again, I can never really make promises on that too. It's not ready until it's ready. Software is very tricky, especially when we are working with other people's drivers and things like that too. It's very hard to integrate things into our system. It takes time. Plus, we got a lot going on. We're a small team, right? So, plus bringing the games, doing all that jazz all the time, right? Make sure games work, things like that too. So, yeah, no, it is very much in the foreground right now, yes. So, can't really say how it's necessarily going. It's going good. We've already shown them sort of working and stuff. It's just got to get integrated properly in the system too, which takes a little bit of time for updates and stuff. Yep. However, yeah, it's going. That is something that is very much in the foreground right now for us, right? Is accessories as well as light guns and stuff. Yeah, very much so is it's one of our main focuses. Yeah, of many, but that is very much so one of the tops. Getting that out to you as soon as possible. Let's see here. What games? Hollywood Polo is asking, Michael, what games did you get during the arcade sale today? All of them. Truthfully, I have all the games accessed on my account, so I can play whatever games that I want. So, yeah, I'm lucky enough to have all these games just automatically on my account, right? So I kind of get the freebies. We did, in case you missed it, Hollywood, I did actually talk about my top 10, my personal top 10. So in case you want to replay this video later on, there you go. Okay, let's see here. Don't disregard Panic. I'm not disregarding Panic Road. Yes, Panic Road is fun in its own right. What are the games I got here? I agree, Little Jazzy. Crunch bars are criminally underrated. 100%. Truth. This is absolute truth right here, too. Keeping it 100. You see here. Other questions. We'll call it a day soon, probably. We've actually been going longer than I thought, as usual, right? So any more questions on the games or things upcoming that I can talk about, I can answer them right now. I'll take like 3 more questions to call it a day. Nothing too crazy today. Let me see here. You cannot jump the toilet. His name is Stinky. Or her name? I don't know. You cannot jump Stinky the toilet in Donut Dodo. That is an actual mechanic of the game that's intended that way. So you have to make sure that you maneuver around it to not get caught up. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, you cannot jump over the toilet in Donut Dodo. Intended mechanics. You can jump over the mice or the ghosts, not the toilet. Very intentional. It's purposely done that way. What other things can I get to here? All right. Interesting question from Scott that I can't really answer, but I like it anyway, too. Any chance we see some indie light gun games when the light guns become active? Stay tuned. You'll have to find out. Again, we never want to limit the games that are on the system, right? Every game release is not necessarily meant for you personally, right? Some games are great. Some games are okay. And those games all differ, right? Some games might be great to you and terrible for somebody else. And that same person might have great games that are great for them, terrible for you kind of thing, right? But yeah, we're never trying to limit the games that are on the system. Any liking games, I've looked into them plenty. Yes. Are any coming for the system? Nothing is announced yet. Again, if you want a light gun, feel free to buy it. But we have only announced one light gun game so far, Operation Wolf. Bear that in mind. I'm not forcing you to make any sort of purchases or anything. You know, just not that kind of vampire. You ever seen like Hotel Transylvania where he's like, blah, blah, blah. Like no one says that, right? It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. I wish I had like an effect to turn into a bat at the end of this. That's what I should have done. I missed out. Missed opportunity. I know. And any other questions? If not, we're going to call it a day. That's it, right? Here's actually a good question from Kyle F. What is the difference between Super Burger Time and regular Burger Time? Right, so one, Super Burger Time is actually 2 players simultaneous play. You can actually play as 2 players. That's really the big difference, honestly, is the co-op. Otherwise, you know, a little bit of looks, but generally speaking, it is the same game. Really, the add to Super Burger Time compared to Burger Time is 2-player mode, 2-player simultaneous co-op mode, right? Whereas Burger Time, the original, you can do 2 players, just not co-op, right? It's not simultaneous play. So, yep, that's the difference. It's co-op play. Let's see here. Already answered that question. Let's see here. Okay, all right. 2 more questions here. Ooh, a little jazzy. What is the scariest game on iiRcade? Subjective. Some people may say the toilet and Donut Dodo. However, a true sort of horror style game. We got the noir style game, the mystery game of oh my gosh, White Knight. That's brought to you by PlayDigits, actually, too, who brought us Dead Cells as well, too. Publisher, right? So White Knight would be that game too. It's a black and white noir style game where it's a very slow paced mystery game, right? It is a horror game as well too. Played in the dark at night. If you got a gold, especially the ghost sounds fantastic in that game. Let me tell you, on the gold. Other games for like spooky themes, especially, right? Night Slashers is clearly one of my favorites, but I wouldn't call it scary. It's just fun because it's got ghouls and goblins and all sorts of everything in it as far as like spooky stuff goes. Not a lot of horror games too. Dead Effect 2 as well too is definitely, I mean, it's space zombies, right? It's Dead Effect 2. But yeah, if you're looking for like a true sort of scary kind of game, White Knight. All right, what other things can I answer here too? I'll take like 1.5 more questions. Let's see here. Other questions I can take here. Let me see what I missed here. White Knight is legitimately unsettling. Yeah, it's true. Again, play that game in the dark. Other questions that I missed. Let's see. Butterfinger BBs don't exist anymore, do they? That's a shame if they don't. I'm sure they do somewhere. I'm sure somebody like hoarded them and now they sell them at like one specific movie theater. It's like the last Blockbuster, you know? It's one of those things. Like somebody's got to have a hoard, a stash somewhere. They're like a dragon of Butterfinger BBs, 100%. They're just hoarding those somewhere in a garage or something, and they're ready to sell. I would buy. Let's see here. If this is true, I could be wrong. I've never tried to hide. I've always tried to avoid. I think I've tried to hide before, but maybe this is true. I won't let you know on that. But maybe you can hide from the toilet and Donut Dodo. All right. I think that's pretty much it then. We're good. We're good. No other pressing questions I can see in the chat here that I can answer. Great. All right. Cool. All right. We're good. We're good. All right. Well, with that, I know super exciting show today. You know, hope you're having fun with the game sales too. If you did, catch it on the rewind. My top 10 games for the arcade games. Those are all great games to me, in my opinion too, especially if you're like leaderboard chasing like me. Go ahead and rewind that if you missed it. Beyond that, all the arcade style games other than our new release of Once Upon a Time Halloween are all 30% off right now too. And if you didn't If you did miss it last week too, Once Upon a Time on Halloween, great. Have fun with that game too. Still right there too, just in time for Halloween too. So if you haven't picked it up, totally get it. $7 on the store, right? It's great. $7.99. It's fantastic. Beyond that, let me see what I can play around here with too. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, too, I'll be back. I should be back next week with an actual show. We got Cabal. Again, of course, Cabal is releasing next Friday on November 4th. And then, of course, Heated Barrel is, yes, Heated Barrel, not Heavy Barrel. Heated Barrel, right? Our cowboy, 2 to potentially 4 player cowboy game is coming on the week after that on Friday, on November 11th, right? So that will do it for the 4 TAD Corporation games. We, of course, have more games on the way beyond those 2 as well, too, that we might announce in maybe next week, maybe the week after, maybe the week after that. Who knows, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm the one who knows. However, we'll see how that plays out, right? More games coming your way soon. More software updates, more features, and things like that, too. Of course, we're working on the back end all the time. Coming your way very shortly before the end of the year, too. Holiday season is basically upon us, right? It's here. So we got some fun stuff coming up too. Stay tuned to all of our different feeds too. If you're not, join the Facebook community group too. We post there all the time, as well as the actual iiRcade Facebook page. And then, of course, jumping on the newsletter on the website, the apparel. I know I keep getting asked for holiday themed apparel for the store. Maybe I'll go on maybe this year too. Anyway, maybe we'll do like, I don't know, post some Halloween stuff, post your costumes and stuff with your iiRcade and stuff like that in the community group too. Love to see that kind of stuff too. Have some fun together too. Hope you're playing some games this weekend too. Check out the iiRcade Zone tonight at 7:30 p.m. CST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so they'll be playing. It's the holiday community, Halloween community games, right? So they're playing that tonight too over there with good old No Quarter Gunther and King Creole himself, right? My big crawdaddy. I hope he's dressed up as a crawdad tonight. Gosh, please, Casey. Anyway, check them out tonight. And then stay tuned for more exciting features coming up next week, right? So, all right, I will let you play you out with, let's see here, more Halloween stuff, right? Here we go. All right, have a safe and happy holiday, everybody. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, or do it, honestly. I don't control your life, but please do stay safe. Drink responsibly, all that fun stuff too. I hope that you go into a candy coma of some sort. You know, that's all I really want. Sugar rush, have some fun. Until next week, see you then. Game on.